And a lot is going on. We start with the Eagles in Philadelphia. Howie Roseman addressing the rumors and discussion of the talk that A.J. Brown could get traded. This is what the Eagles GM said to reporters in Phoenix. He said, quote, "I understand there's interest in the A.J. Brown story. I unfortunately don't have a home under a rock. But my answer to any question on A.J. Brown is A.J. Brown is a member of the Eagles. From my perspective, anything you ask me about A.J. Brown, I'm going to go right back to that answer. But I understand the interest. I put on TV and I see that there's interest. But my answer is A.J. Brown is a member of the Philadelphia Eagles." So, Howie, we welcome you to the program, obviously. If you're putting on the TV, he's watching with us. He will see Tim Hasselbeck and Dan Graziano, who was there covering the owners' meetings for us. So we hear what he says. Graz, how should we take that as regards the possibility of Philadelphia still making a decision to trade A.J. Brown?
There were definite discussions around the start of free agency about this possibility. Specifically, the Patriots seemed like the most interested team. That deal didn't get done, and one of the reasons is it's going to be much easier from a salary cap perspective for the Eagles to trade A.J. Brown if they wait until after June 1st. Teams don't tend to like to do that, as you know, because now you're waiting till next year to get the draft picks. But it seems like we've reached a point where the most likely outcome here is these talks pick up again after June 1st, by which point the Eagles' dead money salary cap hit for 2026, if they trade A.J. Brown, will drop from about $43 million down to less than $20 million for this year.
And we may get some hint as to what they're thinking about doing when we see what they do in the draft. There are plenty of receivers who figure to go late in the first round, and so we'll see if they make a move on one of those. Tim Hasselbeck, does this feel like a championship kind of decision? Does it feel to you like A.J. Brown is the difference between the Eagles having a real shot at this thing and maybe not?
Yeah, this one feels really strange, if I'm just being honest, Screen. If you think about it, every year that A.J. Brown has been with the Eagles, he's caught at least 7 touchdown receptions and had over 1,000 yards. He's been a dominant player in an offense that has not been a dominant passing offense. But he's been that good because he's that physically talented. And so just the football analyst, if you're just looking at production, it really doesn't make sense. And then you factor in the stuff Graz is talking about. Look, picks in the future, when the draft isn't right around the corner, aren't as valuable, in terms of, having to wait for those picks. And so, in so many ways for me, it feels like, there's been a lot of smoke, around this, and it felt like it was going to happen with New England at one point. But I think you have to ask yourself a little bit, is this really the right thing for Philadelphia? Does it make them better because they have picks way out in the future? It's hard to replace superstar wide receivers. Listen, unless there is stuff, and there may be, outside of playing that is a real problem to the locker room, I'm not positive that this actually ends up happening.
All right, we'll keep a close eye on that. Graz, let me come to you on the next one here. There's still a team that is still waiting for a quarterback. I won't bore you with the details because we've lived through this story many times. Where are we with the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, the Steelers continue to sound like Aaron Rodgers is their top choice, that they will wait to see what he wants to do, whether he wants to play again. If he does, it's expected that it would be for Pittsburgh. He had a good experience there last year. They would like to have him back. But, of course, we're in a situation where they were just like they were last year, where they have to wait for it. Multiple Steelers officials have said it won't be like that again this year. But as this drags on, it starts to feel like it is. So you think about, do they pivot to Kirk Cousins or give Will Howard a look? But right now it seems like Aaron Rodgers is the most likely option for Pittsburgh.
Tim, quickly, is this the right thing for the Steelers to be doing?
No, it's not the right move because, when you become a new head coach, you have, in some cases 1 year, but usually, 2 years to be good. So if you're Mike McCarthy, you can't be doing this again next year because you need to be good. So it's time to reset, rebuild in Pittsburgh. That's what they did with the coaching change. They need to do it at quarterback as well.
And then very quickly, I referenced this in the tease, Graz, the last thing in the world any football fan wants. What is happening with the referees?
They're negotiating a new CBA. The league is with the NFL officials, but it's not going well. And it's going so poorly that the league has started to look into who could we hire as replacement officials. Owners will vote in the next couple of days on a proposal that would allow league officials in New York to correct calls on the field if they're clear and obvious mistakes by replacement officials. So right now they're not having much luck getting an agreement done with their current officials. So they're actually looking into who would officiate games if and when that agreement expires. They would begin training replacement officials as early as May 1st, which is a month from Wednesday.
Yes.
So obviously this is heading into crunch time in terms of who's officiating these games this fall.
That video you saw there was the infamous Fail Mary, one of the really low points of the previous replacement referee experience. Tim, just a thought from you on this possibility happening again.
Hey, let's also remember, that failed officiating performance. You had refs on Facebook talking about their fandom of certain NFL teams. It was a complete disaster. And I think in some respects, one of the ways you can threaten the integrity of the game is a dangerous, dangerous path the NFL is going down right now.
Quickly, guys, go.
Yeah, the thing is, that's why they want to start the training earlier. They didn't do that till July last time. They feel like starting in May would give them a little bit of a shot at a better product once that happens.
That's just hope against hope. We don't wind up with that again. More football later, guys, but coming up much more on the shot heard round the world. Where does the UConn Miracle rank in NCAA tournament history? We're talking about it as we continue. Plus, we'll have their coach live later this morning. And the Knicks, thunderstruck by SGA. Is he the MVP? Or is the big man from France going to chase him down? We'll answer all the
mocking season in the NFL. ESPN's Matt Miller releasing his latest mock draft this morning, 7 rounds deep. And forget about quarterbacks for just a second. We have a running back climbing the board. Miller now projecting Jeremiah Love to go 4th overall to the Titans. Tennessee hoping that Love would boost what was the 3rd worst rushing offense in football last season. Old Matty Mock, that's what they call him. Matt Miller with us this morning on SportsCenter AM. Matt, Jeremiah Love 4th overall to Tennessee. What is the pro comparison for this Notre Dame standout?
Yeah, it's rare. He's an elite running back prospect. Up there with Saquon Barkley, Bijan Robinson, the 3rd best back I've evaluated in the last 10 years. And to me, it's Reggie Bush. We got to go in the Wayback Machine to see a back that has the explosive ability that he brings to the table. I mean, multiple runs of over 90 yards during his time at Notre Dame. It's the quickness in and out of cuts. It's the ability to play in space. And imagine what Reggie Bush would do in today's NFL where running backs are catching the ball. They're running routes out of the backfield. That's something Love does exceptionally well, not just on swing passes and in the screen game, but he can actually flex out and play as a wide receiver. We saw that against Arkansas last year. So he is a special, special prospect, and that's why he's off the board at number 4.
A true 3-down back. Let's talk about quarterbacks, though, and Ty Simpson is projected to the Jets to start the 2nd round. So he's the 1st overall pick just in the 2nd round in your mock draft. How do you weigh his recent pro day when assessing his value?
Yeah, I don't put a lot of weight into pro days. I was at Zach Wilson's pro day for us, and we saw how that worked out despite a great pro day. So Ty Simpson is still QB2 in this class for me, but still not a 1st-round prospect. 6'1" quarterback, 211 pounds, without great arm talent, without great mobility, and just 15 starts in college. NFL teams want to see 25 starts from quarterbacks. That's a pretty good predictor of success at the next level. So he is well below that line that we like to see. I think there's going to be big questions for these teams late in the 1st round. Do you take a flyer on Ty Simpson, or do you wait for 2027 when we can see players like Arch Manning and Dante Moore at the top of the quarterback class?
So we just had a graphic up where we ran through some of these household names, at least on a collegiate level, right? Yeah, Garrett Nussmeier and Drew Aller was in there, but also Carson Beck, 65th overall to Arizona. This is a man who was 1 win away from a national championship, right? Falling at that level. Yet why is he projected in your mock to go in the 3rd round?
Yeah, Beck has had an interesting career. Going back to Georgia, he was great when he had Brock Bowers and Ladd McConkey, struggled the next year and then got hurt, transfers to Miami. He's won at every stop, and I think that's what scouts will love about Beck. He's a big pocket passer, but when things get muddy, when that pocket gets a little bit tight or a little confusing, that's where he struggles. We saw that in the college football playoffs. Despite some wins, there were times that Beck was leaving empty pockets. He's not seeing things downfield because his eyes are dropping to the rusher. So that's where he's going to have to improve at the next level. There's arm talent here. There's experience that you love, but he does have to speed up his game.
You can catch every single of the 7 rounds in Matt's mock draft on ESPN.com and the ESPN app. Matt, thank you.
All right, America, I don't mean to be too forward, but can we kiss it goodbye?